Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to go. Preparation, we feel like, is in a good spot. The guy's attitude's in a good spot. Health is good, so we're ready for the next challenge.
What has stood out to you about the way Donovan's been a leader with this group since he arrived?
Just his voice. You don't know guys. Obviously, you get to watch them play and all those things, but you don't really get to see the behind the scenes and what guys are like every single day. And his willingness to communicate. You watch him like in certain drills when we're playing live, and in the action, he's telling guys where to go to create advantages and things like that. So again, those are things that you don't get an opportunity to see a lot when you don't have a guy. But just watching him, and like, he's got a genuine feel of being a part of the team, where guys want to listen, and they know that he's trying to help the team. It's not go here so I can get this shot. It's go here so the defense does this, and then we can make the easy play.
Have you observed anything about in that regard off the court, like just maybe if he's working with guys or when you guys are,
Yeah, him and Darius, obviously, they spend a ton of time together. But you watch him just interact throughout the building. Like, you watch him in the training room, you watch him in the weight room, the lounge. Like, he's talking to guys all the time. He and I have had a ton of conversations about different things that he sees, to help improve the team on the court, off the court, those types of things. So you see, again, his willingness to lead and give suggestions and try to help improve.
I know you're big into role delineation. Like that word, SAT word.
There you go. There you go.
What is Donovan's role for you guys?
He's got to be himself. I think that's first and foremost. Like, you don't bring a guy who's accomplished as much as he's accomplished and then ask him to be somebody different. So putting him in positions where he's comfortable, but we also have higher expectations for him all over the floor. We want him to be a guy who, if the moment calls for it, he facilitates. You put the scoring aside because he's going to do that. We want him to be a guy who takes one-on-one defensive challenges. Again, he's proven to us that he's capable of doing that. And that just sets the rest of your defense. So we want him to be an elite two-way player, which we know he's capable of.
Do you in any way, J.B., have to take some of that off of him because of the burden that he's probably going to have to carry on the offensive end?
No, he wants to do it. He understands the identity of this team. And again, it's a guy who wants to be a part of it and doesn't isolate or separate himself. But he's also got a lot of help on the offensive end of the floor. I don't think that he's going to have to carry as large of a burden as he has in the past. You put him together with Darius, who last year carried, a hell of a burden himself. So now, you can pull that back, and again, you can kind of ping pong it. So one guy doesn't have to feel like, they're out there by themselves. If they got the hot hand, you're going to ride the hot hand. But you think about all the things we can do, with Bert, Kevin, Jared, Evan, like there's a bunch of guys who we can put the ball in their hands, not just as scorers, but as facilitators, so that one guy shouldn't have to feel the burden of carrying the entire offense.
Who did not practice today?
Ricky and Dylan.
Just those two?
Just those two.
Is Dylan traveling with you to Toronto?
No, I don't expect him to.
Okay. Who's starting at small forward?
Nice try, buddy.
One more thing about Donovan. How do you do you have a conversation about the burden part, or you wait to see how it plays out and then maybe?
No, we have clear conversations with all our guys about their roles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crystal clear what he needs to do and what his expectations are, and we do it in front of the entire team. So he knows what Darius's role is. He knows what Evan's role is. He knows what Ricky's role is. So, when you see how the roles are laid out, it's not just you on your own. So because we do it, intentionally in front of each other, everybody has an understanding of how they all fit together and how the pieces work.
When did that happen? After practice the other day?
It was before practice on Monday. Yeah.
For players, there's a lot of anxiousness that comes with season opener. Is there the same thing for coaches? And how do you kind of combat that and make sure, all right, got to settle in and then we're good to go?
You want, I wouldn't use the word anxiousness. Like, you want to see how you compare to your opponents, for sure. For me, the start of the season is always, that give and take of looking for what's really best. Like, you go into every season with a plan, and then you see how that plan holds up, and if you've got to make an adjustment, you make an adjustment. You think about last year, for example. We came into the season with the mindset that we were going to play fast and shoot a bunch of threes, and our defense was terrible, right? So we made the decision to slow the game down, which gave our defense an opportunity to set, which gave our length an opportunity to prevail, and it gave us our identity. So, we have our plan going in. Our foundation and our core never changes. But, schematically what you're doing on the floor versus your opponents, this is like the jab, so to speak, the early rounds of a boxing match until you figure out exactly who you are and what works for you.
One of the things that Darius mentioned yesterday was that he's expecting more catch-and-shoot opportunities from behind the arc with the addition of Donovan. How do you expect that to affect how much space everyone else has to play with offensively?
I mean, it's we talk about the gravity of guys, right? We talked about that in the past with Kevin, for example. They're not going to leave him. You know what I mean? Like, everybody in the league is on high alert that these guys are capable shooters and scorers. So you're less likely to overcommit to the strong side of the floor when those guys are on the weak side. So when they do come, typically they're going to be late. And now you're trying to work a two-way stunt instead of being in your position already and then being able to close out and do both. So, you think about and you just use your, imagination, and you put, Kevin, Darius, and Donovan on the weak side in an action. And then you've got Karis over here with Jarrett or Evan, playing in a two-man game. Now you're creating advantages where places guys don't want to leave on the weak side. You got a lot of space to go to work and do what you need to do.
Do you
This
guys
is going to be the last question.
Do you guys have like a target number of three-pointers you want to get up per game, or is it something that's going to fluctuate from night to night?
we want to get good shots, and that's our goal. Obviously, we talk to the guys and we prioritize our shot selection, but we're not just going to be casting threes to get to a number. We feel confident that we have guys that are going to create threes for others, and that's what our goal is, to create as many good looks as we can.
You ever going to wear a suit again?
Think
No.
so.
No?
I hope not. We'll see what the league